What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Ernest Goes to School. So a little while ago I reviewed Ernest Goes to Camp on the channel, and that was my first time ever watching an Ernest movie, and I was a pretty darn big fan of it. So come on, guys, it was inevitable that I was going to watch more Ernest movies and review them. I mean, it was also inevitable because I got the three movie combo DVD, and I'm gonna get my money's worth. It cost me one entire dollar. That's pretty steep for me. I'm a baller on a budget. $1. Sometimes all you got is a dollar. I got a little bit more than that, but I'm just messing around. But anyways, it was inevitable that I was gonna watch more because I got the whole DVD pack. But what I go down all these rabbit holes. If I like something, I gotta keep checking out. More of the same thing or more of that similar thing. So basically, excuse me, my throat's all jacked up. Basically, it's back to school season right now. Everyone's going back to school. I'm actually back in school. This is my last semester of college, so this is like pretty much my last semester. Wait, no, my last first semester of school. So yeah, I'm feeling the back to school vibes. It's back to school season, so I was like, I gotta watch a nice back to school movie, cause I go with these themes, I get festive with it, usually with the holidays. I don't know if you can get festive with back to school, but you know, I watch my Christmas movies, I watch my Halloween movies, I watch my St. Patrick's Day movies. So back to school season, gotta watch a school centric movie. So I threw on Ernest Goes to School, and I'm telling you what, I was a fan of this one too. And initially I didn't know if I was gonna like this one, because like I said, I liked Ernest Goes to Camp, but I didn't know what to think about this. When I watched the trailer, and the trailer didn't really sell me on the movie. Like, I love the slapstick in these movies, but the trailer, it was like over the top with the slapstick and the goofy silly comedy, and I'm like, is this one gonna be too goofy? But no, that was just a bad trailer, which a lot of movie trailers just suck. So this movie, it did have that iconic slapstick that you get in an Ernest movie, but it was a really good story, and Jim Varney, just he had a great performance. There was a lot of great performances, but yeah, the movie, it was solid. I think it was as entertaining as Ernest Goes to Camp, and this was a later entry in the series. This was the sixth entry in the series. It was like the first one to not get a wide theatrical release, and I going in, I did know that this was one of the later entries, and I heard stuff like the later entries weren't as good, or they didn't get as big of a theatrical release, or some of them were direct to video, I believe. So I didn't know what to think of some of the later entries, but this, I feel like this was on par like with the other Ernest movie I watched. I thought it was extremely solid. There was nothing wrong with it, and you still had like a lot of staples of the series. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling. Let me get into a little plot summary. So the movie starts out, and Ernest is working at a high school. He's the custodian there, and there's this new rule where every staff member at the school has to have their diploma, and basically Ernest does not have his high school diploma, so he has to go back to school and get his diploma. So while this is happening, the school is also it might get shut down. There's this, I think he's like a school board guy. He's some higher up in the school system. He's trying to shut down the school and merge it with another school. So Ernest is trying to go back to school to keep his job, and the school's at risk of getting shut down. So the stakes are high. Like they gotta, everyone at the school has to perform well. Like, the football team, they gotta win the championship. Blah blah blah. Like everyone's gotta like show up and like go all out because they're at risk of getting shut down. So basically, Ernest hasn't been in school for a while. He is struggling and just having a terrible time. Just it's not working out for him. And one thing leads to another. He meets these scientists, and they have this thing. It's like a brain accelerator, and they do these experiments on Ernest, and they make him extremely smart. And then he's just killing it in school. He becomes like the band leader, like the band director. He's hitting it off with the one band teacher. He's totally killing it. He's getting the grades. It's all good. But at the same time, his little group of buddies, they're not they're kind of put off by Ernest, because he's smart now, but he kind of becomes a snob, and they don't really like hanging with him. So Ernest, he's doing his thing, getting the grades, getting the girl kind of, and using this brain accelerator. But then later on in the movie, he once it comes to the big test, he decides, what, I don't need to use this brain accelerator. I'm gonna do it all me. And then he just like gets together with his buddies, tries to study, work hard so he can pass the test. And then also, when it comes to like the championship game, they want to win the game to save the school. But the one a-hole antagonist guy that I mentioned earlier, who's like a school board guy or whatever, he goes up to the football coach and he's like, I want you to lose the game and I'll get you a job at the new school. So the football team is losing really bad. So Ernest, he kind of talks with the scientists. They get this like concoction to put all the football players to sleep, and then Ernest and his friends, they go in and they play the game and they try to win the game. So that's the basic plot summary there. So jumping into just a bunch of stuff that I like, I just wrote down like a bunch of stuff, little like couple word things that I liked. Like I said, I really liked the story. I liked like Ernest's friendships. They felt very sincere. I like Ernest's group of friends at school. Like they wanted him to succeed. They wanted him to do well, and they were like, they would kind of check him, like, like if he was being a snob, or he was not like putting in the work. So I really like the friendships. I like the romance. I like how Ernest was kind of hitting it off with the band teacher. Like, good for him. He's like low key. Like, people sleep on Ernest, but he's kind of a player. Like, I mean, he's got game. I'm gonna use the Gen Z slang again. Ernest, he's got Riz. Like, straight up, Ernest is a Rizzler. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he is. Like, but he's low key with it. You wouldn't think that he would have game like that, but I mean, come on. Like, the chicks dig Ernest. Like, I mean, he's got it like that. So yeah, I like the little romance. This has the same wholesome and lighthearted feel as, the other Ernest movie that I saw. These are, kids movies, family movies, and they just, I don't know, they're just, there's like a nice charm to them. They're just like cute little fun movies, and once in a while, even if you're, a grown individual, you gotta watch some kids movies or some family movies. It's like I was in class yesterday, and my teacher was like, the class is called health communication, and she's like, yeah, part of your health is like you gotta always be able to have fun, no matter how old you are. You gotta be able to have fun. And then I just like raised my hand. I'm like, yeah, you reminded me of the movie Step Brothers. I'm like, the dad in that movie, he used to like walk around the backyard and pretend to be a dinosaur, and that was like fun. And but then he like lost it once he became this professional or whatever. And I was like, I was talking crazy. I was like, yeah, like even if you're like suited up, if you have some high profile job, I'm like, you can never lose your inner child. I'm like, you still have to be able to like laugh and be silly and dance and have fun. I'm like, you can never lose your dinosaur. So any chance I get to reference Step Brothers, I do. And people were like digging that. Like everyone in the class was kind of laughing. Like everyone knows Step Brothers. So I feel like watching kind of like kids movies is like that too. Like, yeah, I feel like you're never too old to watch Disney movies. You're never too old to watch kids movies. And I don't know, something about watching like a family friendly movie, or like a PG movie, or like a kids movie. It warms your heart. I know I'm getting sappy here, but it really does. Like I love my R-rated adult films, but adult films. I didn't mean it like that. I I'm just, I don't know. I didn't mean adult films. Okay, I didn't. That's not what I meant. I meant like films for adults that are actual 90-minute films. But anyways, I don't know. I just like I like once in a while watching something that's just lighthearted, wholesome. It's not, it's not raunchy or inappropriate. It's just some heartwarming, lighthearted movie. I've said lighthearted 50 times in the last couple minutes, but I feel like you're never too old to watch a movie geared towards younger audiences, and they really do make you feel good. You can't lose your inner child. You can't lose your dinosaur. Once in a while, you gotta watch a Disney movie. You gotta watch an Ernest movie. That's my advice. But anyways, let me move on. So the comedy was on point. I mean, Jim Varney killed it as Ernest once again. The slapstick was fantastic. Jim Varney is just an exceptional physical comedian. The way he emotes, all the crazy faces he makes. Like if you see the covers for these Ernest movies, Jim Varney's always making these just insane faces. He's doing that in the movies. He's a great physical comedian. The comedy, the physical comedy and the slapstick is on point. And then you got some series staples. There's some he's got his catchphrase. Know what I mean? You got that. Like there's some. I've only seen one other Ernest movie, but I like how there's that connective tissue. You have these series staples where you're watching a different entry, but it's you got like a couple little recurring themes that make it feel like an Ernest movie. So he's got his catchphrase, know what I mean, once again, and then he's got that like iconic Ernest laugh. So I'm here for it. That's awesome. Jumping into another bullet point I have here on my notes. I like the message. If younger kids are watching this movie, I think it's a pretty good message. Like I feel like you really for the most part, you know, you can do anything you set your mind to, and you know, Ernest doesn't believe in himself, but he works hard and he studies, and spoiler alert, he passes the test without using the brain accelerator. So I like the whole message of, you know, you can pretty much do anything within reason as long as you know, put in the work and, you know, set your mind to it. So I like that message. And then the last point I have here on my notes is, you know, there was a lot of sequences in the movie that I really liked, but the whole third act with the football game was just, that was like my favorite part of the movie. The football game was so fun, and what it felt like to me was, it felt like a live action cartoon. It felt like a real life cartoon because basically the scientists come back with the brain accelerator, and Ernest and all his friends, they're just like, they're like amped up, like they're, you know, they're at like the top of their game, and like Ernest will like, he'll just do like crazy stuff, like he'll like throw, he'll be like, you know, like playing like quarterback, and he'll like throw the ball up, but then he'll like run like fast motion and catch it himself and get a touchdown. And then there's like this one instance where this girl, she like is kind of messing with this guy on the other team, and getting him to like totally fall for her, and they call the play like the Cupid play or something. I don't know exactly what they call it, but even the announcer was like, oh, they're hitting him with the Cupid play, and like Ernest just comes out in like a Cupid costume and shoots a guy with the arrow. And then like later on, Ernest is just like running on this barrel to get a touchdown, and it's like all this over the top, crazy, unrealistic stuff, and it makes the football game so much more fun because you would never see that in like any other football movie. It really does, like it really did feel like a live action cartoon, and it was like all the, I don't know, all the little ways that they were able to like get touchdowns and I don't know, like get a first down, make a play. Like it was just so creative. So I really liked the football stuff, and I don't know, it just had that feel like a live action cartoon, a real life cartoon. So I really liked that. It really made it fun. So, and pretty creative. So yeah, that's the last point that I had. Now I'm gonna get it into my recommendation, and like I said, I thought this movie was good. Nothing really wrong with it. I you know, the only other Ernest movie I saw was Ernest Goes to Camp. I thought this was as entertaining as that one. If you're looking for a nice back to school movie to watch, or you know, you're a fan of the Ernest films, or you're trying to get into them, or you're just looking for like a lighthearted comedy, I would definitely recommend Ernest Goes to School. I think it's a phenomenal little movie, so would definitely recommend it. But anyways, that has been my recommendation, and that has been my review of Ernest Goes to School. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.